Welcome members. We might get started on this ordinary CEO PMP committee meeting. I have got a message from Cody Davies. He's running 10 minutes late, so we'll just mark him as a non-attendance until he arrives. I haven't received anything from Councillor White. Did he have some leave? I'm not too sure if it's actually... Yeah, it started in June. Not too sure on that one, but I haven't heard anything from Councillor White to date. Oh, and there's Councillor White. That's all right. We'll give you the 25 seconds. So I'll just run through the statement of acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge this land that we meet on today is the traditional lands for the Kaurna people and that we respect their spiritual relationships with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the custodians of the Greater Adelaide region and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. So we've run through the attendance record. Any declarations of interest, members? There be none. I'm looking for a mover for the confirmation of minutes for the February 2023 on the 22nd. Happy to move that way by Mayor Redman. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Vallelonga, any discussion? There be none. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Business arising from minutes is nil. I'm just moving on to page 4 of 9, members, talking about the terms of reference, item 6.1. Do I have a mover for the recommendation? Happy to move that way, Mayor Redman. Happy to second, Councillor Samble. Any discussion on this report? There be none. All those in favour? Oh, sorry. Carried unanimously. So items listed for discussion. I'm on now page 8. Just calling any items listed for discussion at all, members. No. No, moving on. That's nil on them. Any questions without notice? No, it's going to be an easy one. Any motions without notice? No. Also, Susie, sorry, I forgot to make the statement about the rejection of a deputation. Am I able just to sneak that in before we talk about the confidential reports? So just informing the membership, I had a deputation request from Mr. Ian Tooley on Friday. I can't remember the exact time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the email until today, and with the assistance of the governance here at the town of Gawler, decided to reject that deputation because it wasn't within the 7 clear business days. I've provided the meeting procedures and why to Mr. Tooley. I also gave him a phone call before I emailed anything off to him, which he appreciated. Whether or not he decides to lodge a deputation at a future meeting will be entirely up to him. But as per the code, I do have to report that to the next ordinary PMP meeting, which this is. So that is now done. Yeah, absolutely.
Just on that, I can't see in our agenda a spot for delegate deputations. So do we have deputations at these meetings?
So at this point in time, I'll have a crack first and then I'm sure Susie will help out. But at this point in time, it's a little bit ambiguous. It doesn't say that we don't have, in the same way that if you wanted to move a motion on notice, for example, to this meeting, motions on notice would then come into the order of business if requested. I think it's a little bit not quite as clear as what it could be, but that's why I think we should be talking in the workshop that is to come about these items. However, Susie, was there anything you wanted to add to that? No? Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's completely inappropriate for a deputation of the nature that Mr. Tooley is seeking to present to this committee. It's not provided for in the agenda. We have, a clear understanding of what his intent is, and I think it's completely inappropriate and unethical.
Yes, I'm just to be clear, we're not debating on our opinions. I'm clearly identifying the process that has been undertaken here, but I'm just making that statement clear. However, yes, Meriden.
I tend to agree with the CEO. I think it's actually improper, and I say this publicly so anyone can hear. It's my personal opinion. There are work health safety laws around our one employee who is the CEO, and I think that could potentially, not ultimately, but potentially cause an unsafe workplace. So I think there is history around our CEO and Mr. Tooley, and I think that's well known. And I am concerned that if we proceed to allow deputation, that there could be a risk to council and to our CEO. So that's my personal opinion. Take that as you will.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Did you have something that you wanted to say?
I just want to suggest that we move on. Otherwise, I might call a point of order. I think that it's equally we shouldn't be discussing this here in this forum, and we should discuss it somewhere else because it is going into debate. So I just want to move on. Otherwise, I might gain some latitude to those members, but I just want to do that. Otherwise, I will call a point of order to move on.
Yeah, no, look, I appreciate that conversation. And just to be crystal clear here, I think that's why the workshop to come around these sorts of procedures would be a very good thing, because what we're talking about now is a person, not a procedure. I have acted to the procedure that is current, and I'm going to move on with this particular meeting now. Personal feelings, I have none towards this at all. And how we address the person, I think we need to identify the process a lot clearer so we avoid this in the future. However, moving on from this particular item, because this isn't the person we're here to talk about tonight. Moving on, we're moving to item 10.1, the Chief Officer Performance Update Report, which is a reason to go into, the recommendation is to go into confidence. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hennessy.
Yes, I'm happy to move this, and the explanation is that we are going to move into confidence because it's an item that the information of which would be the disclosure of which would involve the unreasonable disclosure of information containing to the personal affairs of a person living or dead. Specifically, of course, it relates to the performance of our CEO, Mr. Henry Innett.
Yeah, absolutely. Could I have a seconder for that? Councillor Hughes? Any discussion? If there be none, those watching in, we're just about to go in confidence. So the live feed will now be cut. So, oh, sorry. I've just absolutely, we just better put that to the vote before I jump the gun. Can I please put that to the vote? Oh, look, carried unanimously. Thank you.